Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Spirit of Spirits. This is season 3, episode 11, Cryptids Part 5. What's up, Turner fan? I'm your host, John Watkins, and your host with the most, Mr. David Lowe.
What's up,
What's,
everybody?
what's going down?
What's going down, brother?
It's going down.
Iron.
Ooh, a little bit.
We had a great episode on Scare Network TV.
Yeah.
I really liked it. So if you guys get a chance, if you're not already a member, go to scarenetwork.tv, sign up for the membership. It's $4.99 a month, $40 for the year. You save $20, and you get other content. Plus, you get our exclusive content that is only on Scare Network TV, where we talk about cryptids like the chupacabra, the Jersey Devil, and what we did just a little bit ago, which was awesome. So you guys, it's worth it. Plus they have all sorts of horror movies, true crime, thrillers, classic horror, paranormal documentaries, all kinds of stuff. And it's only getting better. It's getting more and more content as we go. They're just dropping stuff every week. So definitely get in there and check that out.
Yeah. And speaking of Scare Network, also want to thank Anchor. Anchor is what allows us to take the audio portion of this live broadcast and throw it out to your favorite places like Spotify, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and of course, Amazon Music. Without Anchor, we wouldn't be able to put our voices out there. They're a great way to start your podcast. They actually even help you sponsor your own podcast there. And as you continue to grow and get more of a fan base, it'll actually help you find more sponsors. So Anchor is awesome. Also, thank you to StreamYard. StreamYard is what allows us to do the multicasting to where we can be on our YouTube Spiritual Spirits page, our Facebook Spiritual Spirits page, and even our Twitch Spiritual Spirits page. So thank you for StreamYard for that. But Scare Network, man, they are phenomenal. Every time I turn around, my love is watching something new on there. It's great. And she even got her own account. She's not even using mine.
I would to keep watching our podcast.
Oh yeah, she is. She watches the live on the YouTube or Facebook here, and then she watches our stuff on the exclusives on Scare Network. So it's great. It's great, great,
awesome. All right. So what are you drinking tonight, bro?
Dude, you know me.
You rocking the Guinness still?
I'm trying to get a sponsorship so I can get free Guinness.
Sure.
You know,
sure. Sure. Right.
Someone from Guinness is listening. One of these days. I
mean, you think, when we did Ireland, that would have been the time for Guinness to watch. But yeah, unfortunately, no. But you know me, I got to try something new. And this is a blonde ale. It's called Honey Babies.
Honey Babies
from Blaker Brewing Company. It's in Central Valley, so it's in my area.
Yeah.
So I'm anxious to try it. Hopefully, I've only had one that I didn't like.
Let's wait for the face, folks. Wait.
And I still got 3 more of those left, so here we go. That's not bad.
Well, he didn't make a bad face. This is good news. Good news, folks. Oh, great show tonight, though. I mean,
But yeah, so Cryptids Part 5. So this is number 5. So after we're done tonight, we have done 21 cryptids this year, and we haven't even touched Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster or the Rake.
Oh yeah, I haven't even.
Those guys are coming. They'll probably be on Scare Network TV, you guys. So
it's so tonight we're talking Mossman, Huggin Molly, and the Rougarou.
Yeah.
And there's actually, just throw it out there, there's actually a nice little short on the Rougarou on Scare Network television. I'm just gonna throw that out there too. So you can,
which we watched.
Yes. Yeah, be careful. Why am I talking about the Rougarou and still telling me to be careful?
I don't know. Well, you don't want to look at him. Turner can't wait for the Bigfoot episode. He is a huge Bigfoot fan.
Yeah, you're a footy. That's right. Dave was telling me about that. That's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be a good show. I mean, I know we've talked about Bigfoot before on here, but I don't even think we scratched the surface when we did that. That was a funny
No, we were
episode.
just, some
Another room.
stuff, and yeah, but we've never
Yeah.
actually scored it.
No,
So we get to dig it. But yeah, we did was it last season? I think it was last season.
it was last season.
I think it was last season. We did the Bigfoot. We did Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, and the Rake.
And the Rake, yeah.
Yeah. And I'd be interested in doing
those are
and
show.
scoring them.
Yeah,
maybe those are some that we do. That's an interesting idea.
Our look backs
During our summer break. Maybe
Yeah.
we record those because we've been talking about doing that and releasing them for Scare
Medicine.
Network. Scratch. Yeah, medicine on a scratch. So that would be interesting. We'll talk about that later. But let's talk about these guys now.
Where do you want to start? I think I want to start. I don't want to start with the Rougarou. Do I want to start with the Moss Man? I want to start with Huggin Molly. I think I want to start with the Moss Man.
Okay, let's start with the Moss Man.
Let's start with the Moss Man. Moss Man is he's an interesting one too. I'll pull up everything here. I put notes on the computer this time because I didn't have my notebook, so I did it on the computer and then emailed it to me. Okay. All right. So there's another word for the Moss Man, and I'm trying to figure out how to say it. Did you see that when you did your research?
Yeah. It's Paramelphe?
Paramelphe? Is that the word you would use for it?
P-E-R-E-M-A-L-F-A-I-T.
Go away.
I think the T is silent. So
Gerald.
Paramelphe.
Yeah, it's get off of there. So it's been spotted in and around the state of Florida, mostly in the northern Florida, the Everglades regions, up in that area. It's a large humanoid entity. It's completely covered in green moss. I guess you could say foliage. Maybe there is a lot of different descriptions on how they kind of say that. Most time though, it is described to have amber eyes that shine in the night. And they say something that it's got like this crazy eerie stare because of the eyes. I don't know. The pictures that I've seen usually have the eyes covered up.
Yeah. So
I'm lost.
I'm gonna put this up because I found another spelling of it with two words. And it's pronounced Hooray Malfay.
See, that's well, isn't that what you said?
Well, I said Paramelphe, but I had it as all one word, but I found a place where it's two words.
Hooray Malfay.
Hooray Malfay, which is Cajun or French, that French Southern doodah.
Yeah.
It's translated as "Father does bad."
That's an interesting
It's an interesting
definition of a word or
Yeah,
for
it's a translation. That's a definite translation. So it's translated in Cajun as "father does bad" or something like that. Pere Malfait was originally known as the father of the bad leaves.
The bad leaves. Okay, all right. The Moss
Okay.
Man.
And it
Huh.
was featured on an episode of Kolchak the Night Stalker back in the day, where it was called The Spanish Moss Murders was the title of the episode.
That's interesting. I never saw that.
Yeah.
What was that? When was that broadcasted out there?
Empty.
Oh, the Kolchak the Night Stalker are you familiar with the series?
No.
Oh,
No, I don't remember that at all.
It's basically
80s?
like it was the inspiration for X-Files. It was like one guy, he was like a detective, he did all this supernatural stuff. And I would say it was back in the 60s.
Was it 60s?
Yeah, I think it was in the 60s when it did it. I'm gonna have to look this up now because it's gonna bug me. They did reboot it recently, and that actually sucked. 74 was when
70? Okay.
74 it
Oh.
aired for 2 seasons.
Dover.
Yeah,
Dover.
Is that Bill? What's up, Bill?
Bud. Grew up on that show.
Yeah, he was a reporter. And he did all these things. Yeah, but the Spanish Moss Murders was episode 9 of season 1.
Wow, I'm gonna have to check that out now.
But yeah, it's also basic Pere Malfait is also known as the Cajun Boogeyman.
Man, I haven't seen fucking Bill in forever, man.
I know.
Where you been? Holy crap. Working. He's a working man.
Working man.
And we keep changing our days.
Work hard for them. Yeah, it's all your fault, bro.
We stayed on Friday for a bit.
Yeah. So
a lot of people say that it might have weird shifts. Oh yeah. Yeah. I know those ones.
He knows what that's like.
Yeah. Yeah, I went all the way from Tuesday, Wednesday to Sunday, Mondays off now. I literally went all the way around in a matter of 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
It sucked.
So yeah, like you were talking about his eyes, and it's like is described as a large humanoid entirely covered in green moss or foliage.
Yeah.
It's either amber in color and shine in the night.
Yeah.
Giving an eerie stare. It is possible it grew moss-like appendages to blend in with its surroundings to hunt better and or stay hidden. It is described to be 6 to 7.5 feet tall and weighing between 200 and 450 pounds.
That's a 6 to 7.5 foot tall. That's kind of general, size differential depending on age and whatnot, and just whether you're a tall guy or a short guy. But that's a big gap between on the weight there. 200 to 450 pounds.
Up.
That's okay. 200 to 500 pounds. We gotta go up, Dave. We gotta go up.
I know, right?
Judge.
Back on days
I'm
now.
not one to judge, but
yeah, no, we're not judgmental. We don't judge, Dave. We only make fun of.
We don't. Yeah, if we can't make fun of ourselves, we make fun of other people.
Yeah, we definitely do make fun of ourselves too.
So, as its name indicates, man is made of moss. Power is to camouflage into foliage and other green areas, as well as control plant life.
I found that pretty interesting that it actually has the ability to control plant life, which kind of that's dangerous. That's dangerous right there.
Yeah.
Because if you're out in the forest of this thing and it's pissed off and it has the ability to pretty much control everything that's standing around you, you're fucked. control planet. That's nasty. So did you see the story of when he was first spotted back in 1978
78, yeah.
by the couple who were just enjoying their time on the beach?
Peak.
This is what I found interesting, that they're enjoying their time on the beach. What beach?
Right?
Like were
Florida?
they at a lake?
Are they in
Yeah, I mean, they're in
Miami?
Florida.
Or
I mean,
yeah.
what beach were they at? But they first noticed a human-shaped figure in a raincoat lying down on the rocks near the coastline. Okay, that's weird. So they are on the ocean. Well, I didn't depict this thing as being in by the ocean at all.
Help.
When I
I
read the
thought this
story.
was more of a swamp, like, yeah.
Yeah. They didn't take much notice until it actually stood up and stared at the couple with the shining red eyes.
Yeah.
Couple noticed then that what they had believed to be a raincoat was actually a layer of green leafy foliage attached to its skin. The couple scrambled to their feet and ran away. Later, all that remained was a bit of Spanish moss. Yes, Bill. Sorry.
Paul.
Yes. Mossman was on Masters of the Universe. In fact, when we were doing our research, I actually told Dave, don't just be sure not to write the information about the Mossman from He-Man. So, because you'll find way more information on the internet about that Mossman instead of the Mossman here.
Yep.
Janet.
But they said from that moment, the legend of the Mossman was actually born. In the next 2 years, it was spotted on several occasions. People reported seeing its moss-covered head appear out of the foggy mist from the ocean. It was seen at Red Reef Park, West Palm Beach, and Hillsborough Beach. Some say it was a humanoid creature, while others say it was more of a ghost-like creature, which I really find interesting that they're seeing this on these beaches.
Yeah.
Because when you think of it, like at the beginning, when we're talking about how it grew its appendages to be more, to hunt better in its surroundings and stay hidden, that motherfucker chose the wrong thing. He definitely should have went sandy, coral, the coral reef monster, not the moss monster. I always thought that was interesting on that story, that it was based off a beach. I don't know. I don't know about that story. Why an ocean beach that this guy gets first spotted? Why not in the marshes of the Everglades and whatnot and things
Library.
like that? And I've never heard of Spanish moss growing, lots of Spanish moss growing around beaches. Have you?
No.
That white.
I don't know shit about Spanish moss, so
It's basically like a white moss almost. It's kind of stringy. It's not like the normal moss that you would see on the trees out there by where you live. It's very it's Swamp Thing-esque. Instead of necessarily being it's like bleached white instead of green.
Yeah, because this is what I associate. This like reminded me of the moss of the Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing, yeah.
Yeah. And it's just interesting. And yeah, I've got
what do you got?
I don't know, got a picture of Spanish moss, so I wanted to share it. Because I was like, oh yeah, that looks like Spanish moss. Cool. That's what Spanish moss is.
All right. And Dave's going to share a picture.
I'm going to share a picture of Spanish moss. So
it's actually, I love the pictures. I love the way Spanish moss looks.
Yeah. And that's interesting.
It's actually very, pretty. That's pretty. I like how it hangs in the trees like that.
Terry.
You can kill that tree by growing on top of it like that, but
yeah.
I don't know. That's I can guess if it had that coloring on the beach, it can kind of blend in pretty good.
Yeah.
But that's when I think of the Mossman, that's not the color I think of. And when you first hear about the Mossman, like we were talking about at the beginning,
Mhm.
green moss or foliage, but yet this guy's covered in Spanish moss, which would be white
Yeah.
in color.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit
So-
interesting. I find it interesting, and I wonder if that's because of the area he was in. He looked like that instead of looking like he would look if he was in the Everglades.
Yeah, maybe it could be. Could it be like some sort of camouflage
Hacks.
where he's putting the stuff on him, or
Close.
Yeah,
could it
Like
be
he-
that the moss he's growing is adapting to wherever he's at? That's interesting. But so they talk about the closest encounter of the Mossman happened in 1980, which was an elderly couple were having a quiet stroll late in the evening in Red Reef Park. It's a 67-acre coastal park built for environmental education purposes, features a 20-acre nature center. Upon their quiet and pleasant stroll, the woman noticed a green shroud hidden amongst the foliage.
Kevin. Feeling.
Kevin's not on. I haven't seen Kevin in months on the show. She leaned forward to get a closer look at what she thought was one of the birds. She then got the shock of her life when the creature spun around and locked eyes with the woman. The couple ran off as fast as they could, and then reported the sighting. But by the time anybody came to look around, the creature had run off. Like, oh, that's so pretty. Oh shit! And
yeah.
so, and there was
That-
also a ranger at Red Roof Park that also spotted the creature in 1980. So,
okay, the rain. Okay.
So, and according to the ranger, the demon-eyed monster is the result of an ancient Native American curse.
Demon.
And my thing just said demon.
Or demon.
It said demon-eyed monster, dating back many hundreds of years. After the invasion of the Spanish conquistadors in the 1500s, one Spaniard kidnapped and raped a Native American princess before killing her and cutting off her head. Horrifyingly enough, for reasons unknown, the man tied her head to a tree. The princess's long hair from her severed head took root in the tree, and over time, her spirit became infused with all plant
None.
life in the area. The vegetation, using the spiritual power of the long dead princess, drove the Spanish out of the region. Inspired by the story of the princess and the bloody tale of her
Amanda.
revenge, a Florida witch doctor brought to life a terrible creature made of seaweed to seek out any remaining Spaniards and kill them.
Wow. Wow.
How about that for a story?
Yeah. That's wow. Huh.
So that's the thing. And that kind of leans into this being like a ghost-like
Yeah,
creature,
more
more so than a flesh and blood or flesh and moss cryptid.
yeah.
What do you think, bro? Is this a supernatural being? Is this, could this be some sort of elemental, some sort of Native American elemental that's protecting the land? Or is it one of the things that we talked about? There's one of the creatures we talked about before, what could be both spiritual and solid.
Be careful.
Yeah, we did
Up.
talk about that before, and I don't think. Hello, my love. I have to say hello, my love.
Hello.
Don't leave.
See, I like that story too. This has, man, this is that's a, could this be a Native American woman's spirit? Which would explain the fact that it has the power to control plant life.
Right.
Because her
Which I
spirit
know the Masters of the Universe
is
character did too.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's where they got this from.
I want to.
Oh, I love this picture.
Which one?
I'm going to try to grab it.
It's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is a better now. So
Who is she?
that's John's girl. That's who that is.
That was my love.
Close.
Okay, that was my fiance.
That's better.
That's better. Well, you have this one. And that looks like a dude in a ghillie suit.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. See, and again, that reminds me of the Swamp Thing.
That looks like Swamp Thing. But yeah, I found another thing. So creature in question gets a strange name from its rather unique appearance, humanoid, bipedal, and somewhat ape-like in appearance, standing around 7 feet tall. At first, it may sound like a hairy hominid, such as a Bigfoot, but the odd
Aroused.
details make it all the more stranger. The moss man earns its unusual name from the copious foliage and grass that seems
Help.
to either grow upon it or be intertwined and entangled within its hair, making it have a green cast to it and helping it camouflage nearly perfectly. With some of the sightings saying that it was at first mistaken for an overgrown tree or a log before it suddenly stood up to walk off. The eyes are also said to glow in amber or reddish hue, with some reports claiming that they have an almost hypnotic ability to them.
Oh, wow. See, this is a new story. I like this one too.
According to the same local lore, the Moss Man has allegedly been encountered in these wetland wildernesses since at least the 1800s. One such report from the era is that a large man-like beast with a rank odor and covered with swamp grass had been terrorizing the swamps in the area of Clay County and raiding rabbit pens and the livestock of residents, prompting prompting a local sheriff
Burnt.
to organize an armed posse of men expressly for the purpose of hunting it down. They apparently spent several weeks slogging through the muck, dodging alligators and venomous snakes in search of it without success. Other strange reports of the times sometimes described fishermen being menaced or attacked by an ape-like brute with leaves and branches covering it.
Damn.
Another even earlier legend might have sprung up from the presence of the creature, according to this particular tale. Oh, I think this matches what I found before. In 1500, Spanish conquistadors supposedly raped, killed, and beheaded a local native girl, subsequently tying her disembodied head to a tree and greatly angering the tribe. Their most powerful medicine man then used his magic to call upon the spirits of the swamp to seek out vengeance.
Why are you here?
After which the girl's head grew to be part of the wilderness and take on a human form of weeds, branches, and other vegetation, going on to hunt down any Spaniards he could find. In some versions of the story, a witch doctor in later years created this golem of foliage to keep the Spanish away.
Wow.
and that when the threat was gone, it went off to continue to prowl the swamps to this day.
Damn. So she said that was better when I said fiance.
Okay.
and Dover said he looks like Swamp Thing, but identifies as a squid. No, that's I didn't see that story.
That was interesting. So it says there have been sporadic sightings of the Mossman ever since, with accounts variously describing what seems to be a flesh and blood animal, or on other occasions claiming that the thing is more ghostly or demonic in nature, able to appear or disappear at will, or even shroud itself in a cloud of mist. Considering the details of the reports, theories have abounded on what the creature could be. Some say along the lines that it's some sort of Bigfoot-like creature, either covered with vegetation, that it's grown upon it, or intentionally covering itself with the foliage as camouflage to allow it to blend in with the environment. Other more far-out ideas are that it's some sort of humanoid plant, a forest spirit, an interdimensional entity, a demon, an alien, or an avatar of the swamp itself taking humanoid form.
Oh, I like that. This is a hard one to kind of narrow down what
this is a kind of hard one to kind of nail down to, what is this thing? I'm intrigued by this creature. It's not
living room.
That's where my wife is. Is this flesh and blood? Is it a Bigfoot trying to cover itself? Or in some of these reports, it sounds a lot like what we talked about on Scary Network TV.
Yeah.
And then that brings me to a picture that we had for that one that I think reminds me more of the Mossman, and that's this.
Yeah, I saw you bring that over.
Yeah.
And that definitely looks more like the Mossman than what we talked about on Scare Network. And I very much agree with that.
Yep. And I want to thank Crystal for liking us on Facebook. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Crystal.
But yeah, and then some other pictures that they had in there was like that one. And then, and then I already gave you that one. That was from that.
Not the last one, but the one before that.
You like,
no, that one. I like that one. It kind of, for some reason, it's like they took, oh, God damn it. What the hell's his name now? DC guy. What the hell? Guy that Hell's freaking champion with the spikes that come out, the chains and the.
But Doomsday? Not Doomsday.
No. They made a big old movie on it. Had John Leguizamo in it as the clown. God, for some reason I can't think of his name.
You mean from Spawn?
Spawn, thank you. He has that Spawn look on his face. Yeah. I was like, I know it starts with S, but it wasn't coming forward into the brain. Yeah, he has that Spawn look to him almost with that face.
Yeah.
But the only thing I don't like about
leave me alone.
The tree right there. Like if you're just kind of glancing at this from afar, you don't see.
It just looks like a mound.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're like, they're so misidentified. They just think it's like an overgrown tree or something like that, and then it just stands up and walks off. And you're like, shit.
Imagine seeing that though. Imagine just you're out there.
The turtle poke its head out real quick. I would. And
not going fishing today.
Turtle pokes it out, cut it off. That's it. I definitely feel malaise as I was running away. That would scare the shit out of me. I mean, it's one thing seeing like a cryptid in the distance going, that looks like something. Is that a Bigfoot? What is that? And then to be like, oh, what a beautiful, all this foliage and stuff. And then it stands up and Shit. I would be.
Imagine, okay, let's say it doesn't stand up and
Yeah.
you're on a little hike in the Everglades or along the beach, according to that other story.
Are you
And
from
you,
here?
you sit down to take a break.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, where you're sitting gets up.
Yeah. Or yeah, what you're sitting on moves.
Oh no, I'm not looking.
Oh no. Or
I'm not
or
looking.
you're just
Sister.
you're taking pictures and all of a sudden its eyes open.
What do you think about those eyes, though? See, those eyes kind of take me back to the Native American story,
Yeah.
and or even the swamp avatar itself type thing, or it being possibly demonic in nature and not natural at all,
Yeah.
and more spiritual instead of natural. I mean, if you want to call this thing natural at all, but it's the eyes, I think, kind of lean me towards
Light.
that spiritual side of
Like,
it,
yeah, like
and
it's
not
some kind
the,
of non-human entity. Like some
yeah.
kind of
I
some
mean, well,
kind of
it's definitely a
elemental
non-human.
or yeah. I'm kind of leaning toward that myself, especially talking about its ability to appear and disappear at will. That his eyes are hypnotic.
Yeah,
It has a hypnotic thing to him. If you get
yeah,
caught in
yeah.
the gaze,
And the
uh,
ability to control all the plant life has a
yeah,
big thing pushing me
yeah,
towards it. Like
yeah.
that's
So,
that's
so
that's
wouldn't
you got to
okay,
think about
okay. So think about it this way: if what if you're looking at this overgrowth, and it
that.
really is just overgrowth
Yeah,
that
yeah, okay.
becomes the spirit
When
and
all of a
stands up and
sudden the
walks off,
spirit comes into this overgrowth and stands up and walks off to his
walks
shack.
off. Yeah. So it really is just like overgrowth on a tree or a log or whatever, and then the spirit, the energy actually goes into it, and it stands up and walks away
Okay. All right. So,
instead of it
okay.
being
So do you
camouflaging
think this
itself.
is
Like
more would you put this more as an elemental, or would you put this more as a a being that was created or summoned?
I think I think an elemental can be summoned. So, uh,
I guess that's true. That's true.
um, especially by Native Americans, or you know, if the Native Americans did it, if a Native American shaman summoned it,
Well, yeah,
then
the skinwalker was a curse.
yeah,
So,
yeah, then I think it's a guardian more so than a curse. I think it's a guardian sent to kill all the Spaniards. So,
I am in
thankfully I don't
pain.
have any Spanish in my blood.
Sorry.
yeah, we
But
just got to worry about banshees.
yeah,
Uh,
we're still worried about banshees. But where was I going? If a witch doctor created it, because they had two stories. Either the Native Americans did it because they were upset, in which
yeah,
case it's probably an elemental. But
yeah.
if a witch doctor did it later to do the same thing, then I think it's more demonic. So it all depends on which story is true or which story is the more valid story. Or do you think it's flesh and blood, or do you think it's a supernatural being?
Well, that's the hard thing because there's no reports of people really getting attacked by this thing, right?
Yeah. I
There's
don't know about the
nothing.
Spaniards.
Well, yeah, well, they didn't live to tell about it to begin with. So, uh, there's no reports of people attacking it to make physical contact with it.
Right.
They basically saw this fucking shambling mountain and fucking ran.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, fuck that. So it's kind of hard to answer that question whether or not if it's flesh and blood or a spirit. I'm kind of leaning towards the spirit though, because the big thing is that most of the time when it is seen, there is also a fog
Snake.
associated with it.
Right. Well, it says that it can generate mist, that it can create a
Yeah.
mist.
So that kind of again
If-
puts me more to the spiritual side than the physical creature. like a natural creature. Like I don't think even before all this, I didn't think it was a Bigfoot camouflage itself. I don't think that. I don't think this creature has anything to do with Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I'll say that right off the bat. I don't even necessarily think this creature is Bigfoot-esque in the way it moves and the way it acts and reacts to things. It's not very Bigfoot-esque when you think about it. So I don't put it in that same category with it. I for some reason it does this thing actually worries me a little bit, even though I'm not a Spaniard.
Yeah. How so?
I don't know. It seems if it is that guardian, is it guarding the forest or is it guarding something else? Is it going to be aggressive or
Walter?
Is it like if I saw it and I pushed onto my fishing hole, is it going to react to that or
Stay.
is it better off to run? Because there's nothing beyond that. Because everybody sees it, just runs freaking away.
Yeah. So there's a lot of fear associated with this. I mean, it just like springs out in front of you. So that would scare the shit out of me.
Because even like the elderly couple, they didn't get attacked. It just looked at them and they ran away.
Yeah.
And by the time they were able to report it, the creature had run off by itself as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is an interesting one. I don't know where to categorize it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely a cryptid.
Yeah.
But I don't know if
is it
a natural being like a Bigfoot or the Yeti or Loch Ness or something like that, or is it more in spiritual?
Yeah.
Or even demonic.
Yeah, I just think that I don't know if it was an actual if it was Bigfoot like camouflaging itself. I don't think that it would. I think it wouldn't be mistaken for overgrowth too much. I think people are like, well, what the hell is that? It looks like a humanoid. But if it's because it's like you don't think it's anything but foliage until it gets up and walks off. I don't know. I think it's a supernatural being, and I'm leaning toward elemental. I don't think it's demonic because I think it's a completely neutral being. I don't know if it's territorial. I know if you're a Spaniard, you're probably in trouble.
Yeah.
If you got Spanish blood in you, be careful while you're over here.
So I'm not taking my fiance to ever.
Yeah. I'm going to say that in Spanish. No.
Okay. Angel.
No means no. I don't care what language it is.
No means no. It doesn't matter what language you're talking about. I mean, even my obvious just said okay. But yeah, it's an interesting being. So let's score it. What do you think?
Yeah, let's go ahead and give this a score.
Okay, so let's talk about the size.
Okay, the biggest depiction I think we saw was 7 foot, right?
7.5 was what they said. 7.5, 450 pounds.
Up to 450 pounds.
Yep. And I think I'm right there at a 7 with that.
And again, I think I'm right there at that 6 part, where we were at with, I think it's going to be that 6.5. I think it's right there in the same category as what we talked about on Scare Network.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Now, what do you think of the speed? I think if this is a supernatural being, I think the speed's got to be high here.
Yeah, because it can,
It can
just
disappear and appear at will. It could be like boop and then be over here. So
yeah, that and again, that's
I think that's
worrisome.
gotta be pretty fast. Now, if it's just a flesh and blood cryptid, then maybe not so fast. Do we like come in the middle of that?
And probably go closer to what, a 7 or an 8?
Probably like a 7, yeah. 7, yeah, 7 or 8.
Let me think. I just want to
So
see.
I'd be like, if it's
Kurt.
flesh and blood, I would say maybe a 5. But if it can disappear and reappear at will, and it's a supernatural being, then it's got to be a 9 or 10.
Yeah. So I think a 7 then. I think we'll split it down the middle and go 7. I would say 9 if it was a spiritual being. I'd say 5 if it was flesh and blood. So yeah, I think 7's a good number for this.
Yeah. Okay. What about evidence?
This is a hard one. There's
a hard one.
not a lot of photogenic evidence. I think the closest thing to
Coffin.
photogenic evidence is that picture right there.
Yep. I mean, yeah, otherwise everything I see is artist depictions.
Artist depictions, story based.
Story based, like sighting. There are sightings, things do happen, but as far as there's not a whole lot of actual
physical evidence of this thing. Yeah.
um
So I'm gonna be really low on this. I'd probably give the evidence here a 2 or a 3.
I think, yeah, I'm at a 3. I'm gonna go 3 with it.
Okay. I like a 3. Aggression.
Oh, boy, if you're
There
a Spaniard,
is some aggression here. There is aggression.
I think if you're a Spaniard, it was if we think of it as a supernatural being, then it was summoned or generated or created, conjured for the purpose of driving Spaniards off or or taking on Spaniards.
Yeah.
So I do think if it is a supernatural being, then it has a purpose
Yes.
to be
Yes.
aggressive toward
Heaven.
Spaniards.
Yes, I agree with that.
So I think there's some aggression. I'm not high.
Do you think that aggression would still exist today though? Seeing how the change in the world, there's no conquerors anymore coming.
See, that's interesting. It all depends. I mean, it wasn't that if we're talking it's spiritual being and it was conjured for the purposes of defeating, it wasn't saying, you're taking
Are
on
you
anybody who
confused?
tries to conquer the land. It was, no, you're going after Spaniards. So if you have Spanish blood, I think it could come after you,
Oh, the
regardless
fact
of
that
whether
they
you're trying to
do
conquer
have
the place.
Spanish blood is interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So I think we have to treat the aggression like I think how we treated the speed.
Yeah.
Um, and I would probably put that probably at a 6.
Yep. I'm totally down for that. Okay. The lore. So
I
now,
do like the stories.
like the stories, and the stories, it's not just the sightings and stuff in the 70s,
Nicholas.
but we have stories, and the origin of this thing dates back to the 1500s.
Yes, when the conquistadors were coming over, and
Yeah. So I really like the lore on this.
the lore's good. The lore's
Done.
good. It hurts that we're not getting a lot of up to date information on here. I think
Yeah, because
it hurts
it's basically, they
lore.
say it's been sporadic. So
Yeah. So I have to dock it a little bit for the lore on that.
I think the last sighting was 2003.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Um,
again, it's that sporadicness of the lore and the big gaps. And so I don't know. I'm not super high on the lore. Um,
Yeah. No, I'm not. I think
lower than
I'm
what we're on Scare Network.
kind of, I'm kind of I'm still in the mid range, I
I
think.
was thinking 6 is where I was thinking on the lore.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm down. I'm down for a 6. I'm okay with that.
Because I do love the stories.
But yeah, the one we did on Scare Network, we gave an 8 to. Even though it doesn't go back that far, there's constant sightings all the time.
Constant, all the time. It's consistent.
Yeah, and it's frequent. So, so yeah, I agree with that. Okay,
But
so
again, but the one on Scare Network went back all the way to the
Dangerous.
Wait, I went back to 1818 or 1800s, early
No, that's
1800s. It goes back to 1500. So that's
the first major story on it.
Yeah,
but it goes
but
all
the
the way
Native
back.
Americans had it before that. So yeah. So this could be just as old as this.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, and there are some similarities.
Yes.
Okay.
So sightings.
Do we want to wait? I had that aggression thing.
What you putting down, Dave?
There was a
Farther.
I'm trying to go farther. Give me a second.
What you got, Dave? What you got?
So the large man-like beast with a rank odor covered with swamp grass, terrorizing swamps in the area and raiding rabbit pens and livestock of residents. And then the local sheriff had the posse that went out for it and couldn't get it. And also described as being menacing fishermen or even being or even attacked by an ape-like brute with leaves and branches covering it. So fishermen actually being attacked by an ape-like creature.
Huh.
So there is there. I think I want to put a point to aggression here, and I'm going to take it up to a 7.
I can't disagree with that based off of what you just said.
Okay, going back to sightings. There are sightings.
There are sightings. Quite a few good stories.
Fishermen too. I understand, Bill. I wish, But so yeah, I mean, sightings, they're the things in the 70s.
Yeah.
And 80s that happened.
2003 with the fisherman.
2003, there was a 1997 sighting that they weren't sure what it was, but it got up and walked off or whatever. So there's some sightings.
There's some sightings.
And then I've got that picture that could be.
Yeah, I said that was better for this episode than.
Yeah, I think so too. When I saw that picture, I'm like, that looks more like a moss man than what we talked about.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna go dead center. I'm gonna hit a 5 on it.
5.
A big old 5.
Happy.
Yeah.
Happy with that?
Okay.
All right. She's happy with that. I'm gonna throw a 5 there too. Yeah.
Audio.
No, you listen to the stories. There's no growling. There's nothing like that. There's no noise making.
No noise. Again, yeah, this is a very because it's camouflaged and it hides. Yeah. It's like it's virtually invisible, and people don't notice that it's there until it stands up and walks off. So I gotta go really low on the audio because it's supposed to be quiet.
Yeah. I'm probably a 1 here.
What is this?
Yeah. No, I know that. I gotta agree. I'm gonna go 1. I think I think it's actually, I gave a 2 to the other one on Scare Network, but I think that's more flesh and blood and this is more spiritual.
Yeah.
So I think as a supernatural being, I think it could be actually really quiet.
Yeah.
So physical
Seance.
seance, that's interesting. I will say I'm going to give points to the fact that it controls the vegetation.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
plant
I have
life.
to give points to that.
I've got to
Give
give
points.
points to that, and that, you know, if it appears and disappears at will, and the mist, I gotta give points to that.
Yeah.
Who is chief?
I think I'm higher on physical than I thought I was gonna be.
And then you have to go with the attacks.
Yeah, the attacks and the livestock being there, reports of livestock. I don't know. I got to take it at face value. I personally don't. I think that's connected to the cryptid we did on Scare Network TV.
Very, very possible.
Personally, but I got to take that with a grain of salt. And if they are like, we think this is a moss man
Dislike.
or
I think
Ray Malfay,
pray my faith. I think I'm gonna sit.
gosh, you know, I think
I like to be able to physically
yeah, it controls the vegetation. It
vegetation.
does the mist.
Yeah, it's.
I think I've got to go 6 or 7 here.
He froze up on me. Was you're gonna go where?
I think I'm going to go 6 or 7 on this.
I was thinking 7, honestly.
Yeah, I'm down for
Undecided.
that.
I was at 6 before without the menacing of the fishermen and the livestock and things like that. I'm giving it that 1 point bump because they believe it is this.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this, Bill. So he says that do you think Mossman could be a Bigfoot with moss growing in its fur? I mean, look at how that happens on a sloth. And we were talking about that and just the characteristics, the way it acts and things like that. I don't think it is anywhere related to the Bigfoot, actually. I don't know. There's just something about it that tells me it's not Bigfoot. It's the way it acts. It's like I said, it's not throwing things off. It doesn't make noise. Its characteristics are very different than what you hear about the Bigfoot. So I don't think it's a Bigfoot, but I do say it's a 7 on the physical is what I was saying.
Yeah, I do. I think that has to be at least a possibility. I believe this is a supernatural creature. Probably a Native American elemental is kind of where I'm leaning, but we've got to consider all possibilities.
Yeah. I mean, there is
a
Bigfoot
that's kind of put a bunch of like it's camouflaging itself, like it's making its own ghillie suit.
Rituals.
Yeah.
So we've got to consider that as a possibility. We also have to consider this could be a demon.
Yeah.
But yeah, my money's on Native American elemental. That's where I'm leaning.
Yeah, the characteristics seem so different between the two is why I kind of I don't think it's even related to the Bigfoot that way.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So which brings us to the emotional.
There's definitely fear.
There's definitely a fear. So the photo I found online, Dover, and I actually presented it. This is something I found online.
Which is interesting because this is actually a photo that he found for a different cryptid. But when we both saw it, we're like, man, that looks a lot like it would be more the moss.
A lot like the moss man because of the features. It doesn't look like a humanoid or anything ape-like or anything like that. This looks like a walking tree to me.
Mirror.
I'm just pulling up.
So otherwise, there's not a whole lot of evidence online.
There really isn't. I mean, there's a lot of depictions. I'm just scrolling online right now.
Yeah.
and there's just, I don't know. I mean, you got a lot of pictures of Masters of the Universe guy.
Hello.
Hello.
And
Another room.
that's an interesting one, though.
What the heck is that?
I wonder if you found the same one I did. Looks like a frame from the Swamp Thing. Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's very possible. I don't know. I'm not really finding really any other images.
Okay. I don't know what to make of this one. Oh, I need to do something different here. That's not what I want. Hold on. I'm getting rid of that because it's got something on there I want.
Sorry.
I know. I'm sorry too.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. Yeah.
Huh. That's an interesting one.
Sacrifice.
Like I said, I'm not sure what to make of this picture.
That's the same one I was getting ready to pull up. That is literally the exact same one. I was like, I wonder if it's the same one. That's an interesting picture.
That's weird. I'm like, what the heck is that?
That's an interesting picture. That's probably the best picture we have, honestly. But what are you laughing at?
Oh,
Feeling.
I don't know if I should show it. It's
Of course you should.
it's so funny. Oh my god.
But I was reading on that picture though that you just had up there, and that's actually from Ohio,
Yeah.
and they call it the Grass Man, not the Moss Man. But that doesn't really look like grass. Oh, he's got a video.
Over here.
But it's hilarious though. Okay.
Up in a ghillie suit.
I'm not, Lord, I was like, what the hell? Oh my god, it just it cracked me up.
So, would you give points to sightings and evidence with that photo, even though that was not
Yes.
in the region of the Moss Man itself?
Yes.
Finish.
I would. I'm Grassman, Mossman. I think that's similar enough.
Okay, how good is that picture? Is that a 1-point bump in evidence, or is that a
Maybe.
2-point bump in evidence?
That's a 1-point bump. I wouldn't give it a 2-point bump.
Okay. So you would go from 3 to 4 in the evidence scale.
Yeah. That's I don't know
And
about.
then,
Okay, so check this picture out. Because it's not moving, and
okay.
it just looks like overgrowth to me, but that's how it presents itself, right?
Yeah, I saw that picture too, and I did like it.
I like it, but yeah, it doesn't tell me that, and it's Mossman, if there were eyes, that'd be
No.
awesome.
Definitely
Well,
a
even
weird.
no, so
It's definitely a weird picture.
it's a weird growth. It's weird. It looks like it could be like a person just kind of slumped over, or like
Yeah.
like a creature. It could, like, his head's
do I
down.
do?
It's interesting. I mean, we talk about ghost pictures like that. Was, oh yeah, that looks
Yeah.
like a head and looks like a face. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
why not? Right? It's
So do we take it for what it's worth, or do we take it as an actual photo evidence of the Mossman? Do we take it and go, oh, that's a log sticking up with some overgrowth on it? Or do we take it as, no, that's a picture of the Mossman. That's why they took the picture, because they saw it. But there's no story behind it, so we don't know if the thing actually moved away after they took that picture.
right. And there's no video that goes along with it. I don't know. I'm not going to put any points on that.
All right. So evidence, I'd say we'd still move that to a 4 based off the other photo.
Yeah.
Sightings, would you pump that up to 6 instead of 5 based off that photo?
Yes.
I have to agree with you.
I'm okay with that. Okay. So now back to the emotional.
Back to the emotional, I think
There's a fear, and I do want to put points to the hypnotic gaze.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. But what do
Keep
you think
recording.
about with the hypnotic gaze?
Maybe.
Yeah. I'm giving 2 points to that. I think that's a major deal. So
Given that 2 points would probably take me to a 7 on the emotional, because I think there is a genuine fear here.
I think there is too. I think there's definitely a surprise or a shock value too, because it just appears out of nowhere.
Yeah, and I was putting it more at a 5 for the emotional aspect, with that gaze, with the 2-point bump.
I'm down for a 7.
I'd probably put it as 7.
Yeah, I'm good with a 7 on that. Okay, danger level.
I was really low on the danger level. No matter what I believe this thing might be, just the stories and the way it's depicted, the way it has the no, like, it's not running up and trying to
Count.
body slam people or anything like that. There's no, but then you have the story with
the rabbits and the mutilation and
the
the
rabbits, the
stalking and
mutilation.
attacking fishermen.
Yeah,
Menacing fishermen.
menacing fishermen.
So I think it's dangerous, and I think it's dangerous to Spaniards. I think anybody with Spanish blood might be in trouble here. I'm not incredibly high, but I'm above a 5. And I think I'm going to go 6.
I said if I was above a 5, I wouldn't go no higher than 6 on the danger level here.
Yeah. Do you want to go?
Thing. I'm thinking about the Spaniards thing, and it's got me. It's got me. Okay, I'll go with the 6. I'll go with the 6.
All right. Do you want me to give you the total, bro, or do you
Give me
want
the damn total, bro? Why are you sitting there? Let me do math, Dave.
I like to watch the smoke come up while you're working on that. No, 58 is the score on that.
58. Yeah, that's actually,
It's not bad. That's higher than I expected.
it's higher than I was expecting.
I mean, I was 50 to 55, so it's pretty close, but
Why?
I don't know why. I actually no. I think But I was like, there's not a whole lot of photographic evidence that I was finding until we did the Scare Network episode. And I was like, you know what? That looks more like a moss.
It really does. It really does. It looks
Yeah.
way more like that than it does anything
Nicholas.
else.
And, you know, I said, okay, you know, yeah, it could be from Swamp Thing or whatever, but we have to take it at face value and what we think about it. But I like this one.
Yeah. And the funny thing is we find that in a whole other state.
Yeah. And then this is interesting. I'm not putting any points to it, but if that thing had red eyes, I would be at a 10.
Like, dude, nothing had red eyes.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of scores would have changed.
Yeah.
That's
Bill. Thank you so much for
being Bill, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, we're on a little bit early on Sundays, so you can, you know, hopefully catch part of our show from here on out.
Absolutely. Missed you. Always love your feedback. Well, that is the Moss Man with Bill heading off because he probably has to work in the morning. We're gonna take a quick break, and I think when we come back, I think we're gonna talk about the Huggin Molly.
Let's talk about the Huggin Molly.
I think we'll talk about the Huggin Molly,
and then we'll close it out with the Rougarou.
With that saying, let's what's this? While we take our quick little break. We'll be right back. All right, now I'm back. I forgot to hit the unmute button on my mic. Haha. While we're waiting on David, just want to throw it out there, man. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and check out Scare Network. It is a phenomenal site. Uh, Tons and tons of stuff on there. You just go to scarenetwork.tv. It'll ask you to, of course, subscribe. It is a place where you do have to have a paid subscription for. But it's only $4.99 a month. Unless you do the annual, which is only $40 for the whole year, basically saving yourself $20 just to do the annual.
Where are you?
I'm in Colorado. But it's tons and tons of stuff. Documentaries, true crime, old horror classics, 80s movies, horror movies, a lot of independent film. Of course, we're on there. A lot of shorts, little 15-minute watches that you can take a look at. and Billy Lewis, who's the guy that created Scare Network, also he's also a producer, so he's constantly producing more and more stuff out there. Tons and tons of content that you can take a look at. So just have to say, go check them out. I really can't believe I beat Dave back. It's rare that I beat Dave back. But this is a phenomenal thing that he's put out there to everybody. It's so worth the money. I said I'm constantly watching videos on there, and my fiance, every time I turn around and I come home from work, she's watching Scare Network TV, something new on there. Like she watches it, and then I end up watching it later because it's like, oh, that one looked good, and so I watch it. I haven't seen a bad one on there, folks. There's so much stuff. It's one of the better sites out there you can take a look at, especially if you're into the paranormal. Well, you have to be in the paranormal if you're listening to our show. But they do have all kinds of stuff on there. And one of my favorite investigators, Sean Austin, is involved with a lot of the documentaries on there. Great cast that usually follows with him, with a guy named Eric, who's just becoming better and better every time he does an investigation. But there's been some really, really good ones on there. Like I said, I haven't seen a bad one on there. Dave must have had to go poop. He's been gone a while.
Possessed.
Or he got possessed. Did you hear what I said? So that was a Moss Man. Now we're gonna talk a little bit about Huggin Molly. And this this was a hard one to actually get a lot of information on, actually. At least it was for me. I don't know how
hear you did.
Yeah, I got some stuff. But yeah, not a whole lot. This, for me was even harder to find sightings of.
Granddaughter.
Yes.
Or pictures of. It was, I mean, really all I got
Jack
was that.
Yeah, there was.
And
bless you.
Thank you.
There's not a lot out there for pictures or anything. Well, let's get into it. So, the town of Abbeville in Alabama has the legend of Huggin Molly. Oh, look at that. Molly is said to be a phantom like 7 foot tall, large woman dressed in black with a large brim hat or a big hood, about as big around as a cotton bale. That's pretty big. Huggin Molly is said to roam the streets of Abbeville after dark. Legends say she will appear to children, squeeze them tight, and then scream in their ear. Other than this, she is said not to have harmed them. There are also tales of how she hugged some to death. I think that's harm, Dave. I think hugging them to death is harming.
It's like, you know, it. I don't know if it's better or worse than being tickled to death, but
At least you felt love when you went, Dave. At least you felt
at least
love.
there was some love. It was, you know, I don't know if it was warm.
So there is a story about Huggin Molly is a ghost of a woman who lost her child and dealt with the sorrow of this loss by hugging them. There's also a woman in black that is said to haunt the streets of Abbeville, but she is
Angel.
a different entity altogether than the actual Huggin Molly, not to be confused with the two. There's an account from Mac McGregor, born in 1901, who at the time of his encounter was a teenager, and after work one day he realized someone was following him in the dark. When he turned to see who it was, he could barely make out a tall black robed figure in the darkness. As he sped up to outpace the figure increased his speed to match. This continued and he could see his home. He then sprinted up the steps and opened the door and went aside. To this day, the locals still claim these types of encounters
Ow.
still occur. Huggin Molly is so famous that they actually opened up a restaurant in Abbeville that celebrates the legend of Huggin Molly, and as you would think, its actual name is Huggin Molly.
Mm-hmm.
And its actual menu is a shout out to everything Molly with items like Molly fingers.
And
I want to eat there. Sandwiches. I want to eat there, actually. I was like, ooh.
I got some pictures of the inside of the place. It looks pretty cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that. I did not see that at all.
Yeah, let me grab that. I know, because I was like, that's not what I want. Let me do that, and let me grab the outside. Looking at it from the street view. All right.
There are a lot of depictions of Huggin Molly actually holding an umbrella instead of a robe and a
Greetings.
hat. I thought was interesting.
Yeah. So here's the outside of the place.
Yes, saw the outside, but it looks nice. I mean, I'd go in there.
And that's the inside.
Wow, that's way fancier than I thought it was
Be
going to be.
quiet.
Okay, go ahead, Dave. I guess it's your turn to
How
talk.
rude. I gotta be quiet.
Did you know there's a cryptid card game like Magic the Gathering?
Yes.
I did not know that till I started doing this episode.
So you talked about that, you know, one version of the story claims that Molly was the ghost of a woman who lost an infant who dealt with the tragedy by hugging local children. Another legend states that Molly was a professor at a former Southeast Alabama agricultural school who was trying to keep students safe by keeping them off the streets at night.
Oh, yeah.
Um, the um, the screams that she would cause ringing in the children's ears, but she never harmed them. when
She
she
hugged
screamed.
him.
And legend claims a phantom woman would appear to children, but only at night. She would squeeze them tightly and scream in their ears. She never harmed them, other than causing ringing in their ears.
Stupid.
It's all stupid.
Blood.
That's
Stupid. This is blood. Let's see. Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, I think you got as much information as I got.
Yeah, it's that's what I mean. There was not. I mean, every place kind of says the same thing. I mean, that's a good thing, but they all say the same thing, and that's kind of where it lies. This is really more of a bedtime tale for your kids, from what I'm reading about this thing. Because like people to this day, if you go to Abbeville and you ask about Huggin Molly, they'll 100% of them will probably tell you that it's true. And as kids, we're scared to death to be out at night. Like, to the point where like they state their hearts beat faster as the moon rises in the sky over Abbeville. That's one of the quotes for this.
Yeah. So it says the legend of Huggin Molly. Generations of Abbeville children have listened wide-eyed to their parents tell the story of Huggin Molly. They have hurried home on nights lit only by the moon's glow, certain they saw something in the shadows, afraid she would be around the next corner. Some say her ghost still walks the streets of Abbeville late at night, sweeping her black skirt as she goes. If she happens upon you, she chases you down, gives you a huge hug, and screams in your ear. Jimmy Rain, an Abbeville native and lifelong resident, grew up hearing the legend of Huggin Molly. For him and his friends, she was as real as trees that rustled in the wind at night. Anybody who grew up in Abbeville knew the legend of Huggin Molly. If your mother or dad did not want you to be out after dark, they'd tell you the Huggin Molly story and say that Huggin Molly would be out to get you. And you believed it. One night, Jimmy and his good friend Tommy Murphy heard the story from Tommy's dad. He told them he knew Huggin Molly was real because she had sprung from the shadows and hugged them one night. Or no, as my thing said. They were convinced it had to be true.
Dead.
So growing up how I grew up, this is not something I would have been scared of as a kid.
Yeah,
like,
somebody's gonna hug me and scream in my ear.
Yell in my ear. I get that at home.
I was more scared of the tooth fairy than this guy.
Yeah. What are you doing with all my teeth? Yeah. This is a strange one. There's, like I said, there's not a lot of information out there. There's a lot of different sites out there about Huggin Molly, but they all literally say the exact same thing. So you can't dive deeper into what Huggin Molly is actually about or what I mean, basically the only thing she's really done is scare the shit out of children and hug them and scream in the ear because, well, they're out after curfew. I'm interested to find out how this legend or cryptid came to be. Like, who decided that they were going to tell this story about Huggin Molly, and why did it blow up so fast?
Yeah.
And continue. I mean, again, people will still tell this story to their kids. There are more scarier things out there at night than Huggin Molly. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Curse.
I don't
Is
know
it a
about this.
curse?
I don't know about this one. I got a weird feeling about this one. Like I think this is more myth than I think this is probably the more non-believable cryptid that we've probably talked about. And when we were doing our pregame and we are looking up cryptids, she sounded amazing. And then it's like, oh, everybody says the same thing.
And that's all they said, because we basically go and we look up like a Cliff Notes type of thing to where we're like,
Joshua.
okay, this seems good. Let's get some more information on it. We'll put this on our list. And then, but that's all the information on it. There was no, I went to like 3 or 4 different sites and they all had basically the same small bit of information.
We
I
kind of
do
feel
have
for
a
the
video.
You have a video?
I have a video, not of a sighting, but just like
Oh,
like
okay,
like
like the
talking about the legend and stuff like that. But I don't know. I haven't watched it. I don't know what it says or if
Living
if
room.
it gives us anything else.
I don't know. This, I mean, I love the story. I like that it's still told to this day.
I gotta give points to. I'm gonna give points to the emotional aspect of this and the
Oh,
lore, because there's good stuff here, and size is gonna be good.
yeah, 7 foot tall one.
7 foot tall. That's not bad.
Speed. It's definitely gonna
Speed's
have.
gotta be good.
I mean, the funny thing is, with the lack of information there
and
is on Huggin Molly, the score on it's probably gonna be
the
big.
scores on it are pretty good. It's aggressive too. It might not be dangerous for sure, but it's aggressive. It says that it'll hug you to death. I mean, that's got to be.
Yeah, reports of killing some children by hugging them to death.
Yeah.
A hat as big as a bale of cotton, though. That's a pretty big hat. And there, like I said, there's more than one depiction. There's also one where she does not wearing a hat. She's a real figure with an umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
I saw those pictures too.
Angel.
I don't know. This is a weird one, and
Yeah,
I know.
but they're thinking. Well, they're saying this is a ghost, right? So this is a
ghost of a woman that lost her kid.
Right.
Ooh, sorry, I had a yawn there. I think. I mean, I know we're kind of early on in the discussion about this, but
How are you?
well, okay. Let's continue to discuss this before we get into the scoring. I was going to push this into the scoring already, but would you depict this as a malevolent entity? Okay,
so let's see what I got here.
Malevolent, demonic, non-human, or human entity?
Gosh, by the way they're describing it, I think of it. I think it's a human entity. Now they're saying it's a witch ghost, so it's a ghost of a witch or something like that. I don't know for sure that that's right. I mean, by the legends, yeah, I think it's just a a sad spirit that just goes and hugs kids.
What do you think is the point of what Huggin Molly does when she sees kids out at night? I mean, because it doesn't say how Huggin Molly lost her kid. Right? It's just
No, it just says lost her infant, and then dealt with the pain by hugging local children.
Keep recording.
We will.
Box.
That's a weird one. So
So Huggin Molly's appearance may be described as a woman who stood 7 feet tall, engulfed with dark clothing, wide brim hat. Legend claims a phantom woman or witch-like woman would appear to children who weren't home by dark.
You hear it?
Huggin Molly, as they called her, would hug these children tightly and scream in their ears.
Do you hear it?
No, I heard
Oh.
like a high pitched thing. Was that your REM pod?
Yeah, that was the REM pod going off. And I'm right here, folks. I'm not touching nothing over there. It's right here. I don't know if you can see it. The mic might be blocking it. There you go. It's right there. Interesting. Sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
Site that didn't have anything.
The hell? You're like frozen up and I can muffled. There
Be
there
careful.
Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Could you hear that?
What was that?
That was the YouTube video. I actually found 2 YouTube videos about the Huggin Molly. And there's your REM pod. I heard that.
I just grabbed it and move it so when it goes off, people can kind of see the light go off on it.
So so legend goes, beginning in the early 1900s, an oversized figure clad in black began roaming the streets at night, looking for unsuspected victims. It is said that once she fixated on someone, she will stalk them from the shadows, following them as they walk down the empty street. When she eventually catches up to them, she hugs the person and screams loudly into their ears. The city has seen many tragedies, the hardship of the settlers in the early days of the city, the surrendering of the Creek Nation to them all the way up to segregation times. Added to this, the start of the 1900s, an arsonist burned down all of Abbeville.
Huh.
And this is also around the time when the legend of Huggin Molly took form. On a cold, dark, rainy night, so bitterly cold, damp, and dark, even when street lights were burning and the striking of the match refuses to yield the tiniest flame, on nights like this, Huggin Molly comes out of her lair and roams the streets of Abbeville to see whom she can find. The legend has it that a tall figure around 7 feet tall started walking the street looking for victims, usually children. She was dressed all in black with a wide brim hat. I'm going through the captions of the video and not playing the video. Wandering through the night in disguise of the shadows. Once she found a victim, she attacked, hugging the person, screaming loudly in their ears, before vanishing for mothers wanting their children to hurry home in the dark. The legend of the witch-like Huggin Molly was a helper. For children, she was downright frightening. Apparently, the figure never harmed them, other than perhaps scaring the hell out of them and causing some ringing in their ears. Although her origins are unclear, one version claims Molly was the ghost of a woman who had lost an infant who dealt with the tragedy by hugging local children. Again, no information on how that child died.
Worried.
Shows numerous Molly film thing. Legend actually, could the legend actually be a real ghost, or perhaps have been someone dressed up to scare the city's local
Where
kids
am I?
to go home before dark?
That's reading the captions on the video.
Reading the captions on the video. instead of playing the video because it's pretty much the same thing. It was the dang legend.
Yeah.
But
It
that's
seems like
interesting.
they go into a
Could
little bit
it
more
have
detail.
been yeah, could that have been somebody like just scaring the shit out of kids, trying to get it
Yeah.
home? I mean, still sightings of it,
Yeah.
but it's interesting that it follows the arson. So there was this arsonist that basically set fire to the town, and the town was devastated.
Yeah.
And then the legend of Huggin Molly was born. Could that have been what killed the infant? Was the fire?
That's a good question. I mean, that could have been. I mean, it seems like that's the incident that started it all.
Yeah.
Friend.
And it seems like the infant definitely died before she did.
Yes. And then what happened to her? Did she kill herself? Did she just hug local children until she passed away? And then what if it was a real person?
How?
So what if Huggin Molly was real?
Yeah.
Her infant died in the fire.
Yeah.
And then after that, she was going around town hugging kids at night.
Yeah.
And screaming in their ear. Or I'm just going to say crying.
Probably crying.
More like a wail or something like that. Yeah. And then she passed away and her spirit just kept doing that.
And the emotion of the heartbreak just makes it seem like she's yelling in their ear because she has to yell for them to hear her.
Yeah.
I just thought about that. I mean, because she's breaking the spiritual plane, she has to yell or else they can't hear her. It's the only way she can make them hear. But the fact that they say she's hugged children to death is interesting.
Yeah. I mean, otherwise they don't say she's a danger, but that statement contradicts that.
Yeah.
But every other side I go to has been like, she generally doesn't deal harm except scaring them.
Yeah.
And then the screaming in their ears causes ringing in their ears. But, could it be that she's I'm guessing smothered them, because if she hugs them to death.
Yeah.
Then she's like smothering them. And did that happen while she was flesh and blood, before she died, or since, or after? I'm wondering about that. But otherwise, I mean, if the Huggin Molly ghost is said to scare children and get them to come home before dark, if it's just hugging me and screaming in my ear, I'm not afraid of that. But if it could hug me to death, yeah, I'll probably run home.
Donald
will too. Okay. So yeah. I've said my piece. You've said your piece. Let's score it. Let's see what we got.
Let's score this piece. All right. So size, 7 foot tall. That's pretty decent size.
And
Cryptid.
Huge hat.
Huge hat.
You got to go. But it's a spirit.
Yeah.
So do we go that it's bigger than human size?
Well, I don't know, because
consider the fact that it's a ghost.
The Moss Man was 7 foot tall, but 450 pounds.
Yeah. Angel.
It was 6.5 because I said 6, you said 7.
Yeah. This is 7 foot tall, but probably doesn't weigh anything because it's a ghost.
Yeah. I would still put this in the human size category. She's just a tall human.
Yeah. So you're thinking 5.
I'm thinking 5 on the size.
I'm down for 5.
I mean, it's not like every day you see a 7 foot tall person, but you see them more often than what you think.
Yeah. I was going to kind of match the Banshee. Banshee was at a 6, but I'm down for a 5. I'm good with that. I think it's really fast.
I think the speed's there.
I think the speed's there. It basically stalks you until you're alone.
You can't outrun the thing.
You can't outrun a thing because once it's got a lock on you, it'll follow you.
Yeah.
So
I think the speed's there. Is Huggin Molly faster than the Moss Man?
Yeah.
Now we had to split the Moss Man kind of down the middle.
Moss Man down the middle.
We were at a 9 for the Moss Man.
This is absolutely a ghost. This is a spiritual entity.
Yeah.
I'm kind of around the same.
I was thinking that too. I was either 7 or an 8 here.
Yeah. I'm kind of leaning at the 7.
Kind of with it. We had to split the Moss Man down.
Yeah. Because whether it's flesh and blood or where it could disappear and reappear at will. I don't think it disappears and reappears at will. I think it follows and stalks and
it only goes as fast as you go.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd go 7.
Evidence.
Lacking.
Yeah. I mean, the 1901 thing. I mean, there were a couple reported sightings. But otherwise, this is mainly like an old wives' tale to scare children.
Diseased.
I don't know about disease.
The evidence is way less than the Moss Man.
I think the
Hammer.
We have the Moss Man at a 4.
Yeah.
And I'm like at a 2.
That's the high end, I think.
Yeah. I mean, and only because a 1 basically means no evidence.
Yeah.
And I think there's a little bit more than no evidence.
There's a little bit more than a no evidence. So okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
So that's why I'm at a 2. I think it's aggressive.
It is aggressive. Whether it's meaning to be or not, it is aggressive.
Because it stalks you.
Yeah, it stalks
follows you.
Sorry.
And gets you alone, and then boom. It goes and I mean, it doesn't. I don't know about dangerous, but I think it's aggressive.
It's definitely aggressive. I'd probably put the aggression here.
It purposely attacks children, so yeah, I think it's aggressive.
I'd probably put the aggression here, probably about an 8.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
I'm not so. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the story of Huggin Molly, but I'm not too big on the lore here.
Yeah, I do like it. Early 1900s with the fire, and then the Huggin Molly legend, and then the lady like hugging children. But yeah, I don't think the lore is big here.
No, I'm like a 3 or 4 on the lore.
I think I'm at a 4.
You're at a 4?
Yeah.
I can go 4.
Blood.
And only because it goes back to the early 1900s. So
yeah.
So
the sighting,
I have to say like 2, maybe.
There's no photographic evidence. There's no video evidence. There's no audio evidence. You have stories of sightings. Yeah, there's no
the only reason why I'm going for a 2 is because there's actually stories of sightings, but not a whole lot.
Bathroom.
And it's not like it's newspaper worthy or anything like that. There's no. Oh, that was me touching it. Sorry. No. Yeah.
Miss.
2.
Okay.
Axe.
Okay. So what do you think of the audio here? I think
there is audio. I think.
Audio.
It's the
the
same
main
thing
thing
over
that it
and over
does
again.
is the whole hugging and screaming in your ear. So the main thing it does is audio.
Yeah. So I mean, I'd have to. The audio score I think is actually pretty good. Have they caught it on
There's no evidence of it. So
on
I
anything?
can't.
No.
So I'm gonna be mid range. I think.
Yeah, I was thinking a 6 on the audio here.
Yeah, I think a 6 is good.
The physical object, there's definitely
It
physical here.
hugs. Yeah.
Not
comes
just
out.
hugs, it's old kids.
Yeah.
So I the physical is it's when it happens, it happens. So I think this entity has a really good score on the physical. That would be fucking creepy though.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't know, maybe a 6.
Yeah, I was thinking 6. I think it matches the audio here.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely no object play here.
Real.
No.
And you say it's real. Okay. I think there's good emotional. I think emotional is higher.
I think emotional is higher than the physical here.
Yeah. The emotional, I think there is a genuine fear of this. It's still talked about to this day. Yeah, they do still scare children from going out at night with these stories.
Yeah.
Donald.
The emotional it's really here. And I think you can even there's a sadness with this story. And you can take that into account, that there is a sadness with the emotional here, with what happened to Molly and her infant dying. And this is why she does. And she was a woman that would go around hugging children and basically grab a hold of a child and just start sobbing because she missed her own child so much. So I think there's a sadness to this as well. So I think on the emotional aspect, I'd probably put this at an 8.
Okay.
I was thinking 7, but with the sadness, I give it that extra point bump.
Yeah, you know what? I'm picking that up, bro. I was at a 7 also, but I think the sadness makes sense that we should throw a bonus point to that. So yeah, I'm down for an 8. Okay. Danger level. I'm
Tiffany.
I'm already at a 5 because she's touching.
Well, she's touching, but she's hugging. And there was only one place where it said she actually hugged children to death.
Yes.
Otherwise, everything else that I saw says she's not hugging to hurt. She causes ringing ears. So,
but and you know how I feel about touching. If you can touch me, you can hurt me. And that's why I've always started the danger level at a 5 if you could touch me. And not only can she hurt you, there was a story that she did hug a child to death.
She hugged a child to death.
Farther.
Farther. She hugged a child to death. Kind of like I'm falling off the cliff.
Oh. I don't think that's what it meant, but yeah. So I'm giving it the extra bonus point on the danger to 6 is what I'm basically saying.
I'm seeing it.
Not.
Yeah, I don't agree with it. but we can't go against that's how we score it.
Yeah, if you can touch me.
If you can touch, you can be harmed. That's got to be at least a 5. But yeah, my brain wants to give this a 4.
That's because
my brain is like this bitch like is not dangerous. I don't think there's any danger at all.
Yes.
No, like I said, this wouldn't scare me as a kid. I understand.
I wouldn't be scared. I'd go out. I'd want to be hugged. I mean, you know what?
Give me a hug.
When I was a kid. Hug me. Scream in my ear.
I'll scream right back at you. Ah!
Bitch, hug me again.
I wasn't done yet.
I'm not done. Don't you leave?
The books say 30 seconds.
Possessed.
But I give it the bonus point because there's the story of hugging a child to death. You want to go 4.
I want to go 4 because I don't think she's dangerous. I really don't. But it has to be a 5. There was 1 death. So it can kill. It has killed. So I have to go 6.
You have to give it that.
By the way that we do the scoring, but I don't want to go 6. I don't like a 6. Absolutely don't. But I have no reason not to give it a 6 by everything, by how we score this thing.
Yeah.
It has to be a 6.
Yeah.
But I don't like it.
Yeah. Well,
I am giving it a 6 under protest.
I'm giving this a 6 in protest.
In protest, I am giving it a 6. And I think we need to reevaluate our now this has been the one exception. I haven't had any problem going a 5.
I understand where you're coming from.
I don't like it. I'm not happy about it. But with that 6, which I put an asterisk by it, that puts the Huggin Molly at a 54.
54.
Respect.
That's respectable.
Yeah, not bad. Not
bad.
For what it is, that's a pretty high score, honestly, I think.
Yeah.
Psychic.
Like I said, I think this is going to score higher than...
Yeah. That puts it just above the Leshy.
And that's weird that this scored higher than the Leshy, I think.
That's kind of similar thing, though. We didn't have a whole lot of information on the Leshy either.
No,
that is scored higher than Chupacabra. So
it scored higher than the Chupacabra?
Yeah. See?
Okay.
Yeah. I took 4 years of Spanish in high school. I remember 2 sentences. So
something about making a pig noise.
That's the French.
That's French. That's right.
That's my French. So no, my Spanish phrases are "Mi toca disco este descompuesto." So my record player is broken.
You.
Yeah. Why is that one you remember?
I don't know. And then the other one is "Que lástima dos chicas en la cocina," which is "What a pity there are 2 girls in the kitchen." I'm ready to travel.
When would you ever use either one?
No. I don't even own a record player anymore.
That's hilarious.
What year is it?
It's 2023. But yeah, you know what? Huggin Molly did better than I thought.
Like I said, I think the score was going to be higher than...
Because it's got all the stuff. There's just... there's just no evidence. There's no evidence. There's no sightings, really.
Yeah.
Just some stuff from the early 1900s.
If you had some evidence, some sightings, a little bit more...
It could have done better. It could have... Yeah, if there was some... Yeah, if there was some actual stuff that we could use, I would love a recording of it scream. That'd be awesome.
Hold.
I think this had the potential of being 11 points higher.
Yeah.
If it just had some evidence and some more lore to it.
Some more lore to it. I would have thought by what we got in the pregame.
Yeah. Well, we got in the pregame. I thought this was going to be
I was thinking 60s.
Low 70s, high 60s is kind of where I was thinking.
High 60s. Yeah, I thought that would have been good. then after I went through and did all the research and stuff, I was like, man, I said, this thing's probably going to score in the 40s.
Yeah.
This might be our lowest cryptid.
Yeah, this might have beat the low point there.
Yeah.
This might have been
Quite get there. It was a little bit higher than that, but yeah, I thought it would do worse than the Keylute. The Keylute is our worst one at 48.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I do not think it's going to make the top 16.
No.
I think it's actually already out of the top 16.
Based that we just hit number 20, I think you'd be right.
Yeah. And it's like what?
19.
Fourth lowest.
Fourth lowest?
Fourth lowest.
There's 3 lower than this?
Yes. Like I said, the Leshy, the Chupacabra, and the Keylute are all lower than Huggin Molly.
Dog.
Damn. I thought this would be the lowest one. So right now this is sitting at 16. That's funny. Or no, 17.
17. Yeah, no, it's right outside the window.
Yeah.
Already. And
all right.
We're not even halfway through the season.
Yeah. So we're gonna take a quick break. What do we want to listen to, Dave?
Let's listen to Lord Munros.
Lord Munros. All right, let's listen to Lord Munros. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back. Enjoy the creepy music. See what our ghost tubes say. Let us know if you hear.
Got a second like. That's from my sister-in-law. Thank you so much.
Hey, Luan.
Yeah. That's my wife's older sister.
Yep. That I knew.
Yeah, Facebook. Yay. My wife's nice.
So we're going to take a quick break. Enjoy the creepy music. When we come back, it's going to be all about the Rougarou.
The Rougarou. All right.
Be right
see you
back.
in a few.
back. If for some reason that you're just joining us, and whether you're listening on the podcast or watching the live show with us right now, we just got done talking about the Moss Man and Huggin Molly, and we are going to be talking about the Rougarou, which is a very, very interesting cryptid around Louisiana. So stay with us, just waiting for Dave to get back, and we'll get going on that. Oh my Lord. Hopefully be back soon. Come on, Dave. Come on back. So usually I put a little poll when we download the podcast version. So, of course, I'll be putting a poll on here as well. And excuse me. Now, the 3 cryptids tonight, whether you believe in any of them or not, based off the information we gave you or information you might already have yourself, go ahead and let us know which one is your favorite. All right, Dave is back.
Back.
He must have ate. So the Rougarou, Dave, the Rougarou. I like saying that word, Rougarou.
Me too.
Sounds like Scooby Doo trying to say
No.
something. Maybe he's a Rougarou. That's a good picture. I like that picture.
Yeah.
Very werewolf-esque feel to the Rougarou.
Yes.
Had a little, yeah, had a little difference of opinion in from a guy from Louisiana, right?
Yeah.
Which I found was interesting that so you have the Rougarou and the Loupgarou.
I like you.
Yeah,
I think
the Rougarou. It's
Rougarou.
Rougarou. The P is silent.
So Lou means wolf and Gru means a man who turns into an animal. So I don't know what Roo means.
I think it was just like the Cajun spin on it.
Drip.
Drip.
Not gonna say what I was gonna say, but
Put a little Popeye's chicken on it. That's what they did.
so, but his explanation in the video we watched off of Scare Network Television is that they're actually 2 different creatures, but originally did come from Europe or from France, right?
Yeah.
When the French occupied Louisiana.
Yeah, French Indian War. Yeah.
So,
Running.
what's the word I'm looking for? A bi-breed of the Rougarou would be the Rougarou. Is kind of what he was kind of.
Yeah, like a spinoff of the Rougarou. It was basically their own version. But yeah, it's basically Rougarou loosely means man who transforms into an animal, just like a wolf. Because Loup, Loup is the French word for wolf,
Yes.
and Garou,
As in
as in Pac de Loup, which is the Brotherhood of the Wolf movie that I love so much.
Yeah, that's a good movie, actually.
4K is coming out soon, and I can't wait for it. I'm excited.
But it is a shape-shifting monster that lives in the swamps of Louisiana. Rougarou is actually the Mykiff word for werewolf. Mykiff? Would you say Mykiff? CH make a K sound? Or Mychiff?
I don't know. I'm gonna say Chiff, but it could be Kiff. It's kind of like, is it a GIF or a GIF? I don't know, but
I don't know. Or is it a meme or is it a meme? Is it Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi? I don't know.
It is Chiff. It
is Chiff. My Chiff.
It's my Chiff or me Chiff. It's me Chiff.
Me Chief or me Chiff?
Me Chiff.
Me Chiff.
Yeah. It's pronounced METCHIF, so it's pronounced Meechif.
Meechif. Okay. I don't know what Meechif is, but okay.
One of the languages of the Metis people of Canada and the United States, who are descendants of the First Nations.
Okay. All right.
Namely Cree, Nakota, and Ojibwe. And fur trade workers of white ancestry, mainly French and Scottish Canadians.
Okay. It is like a werewolf, but it can turn into a wolf form at any time.
Yeah. It's not depicted by the full moon.
Not depicted by the moon cycle whatsoever.
And this is not have a problem with silver.
No, this is what makes the Rougarou much more dangerous than the actual werewolf itself.
Yeah.
So Cajun folklore says that it stalks the swamps of Acadiana. These words are fucking me up tonight. Acadiana, Acadiana, Acadiana. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm going with. Acadiana. Academia? No, it can't be Academia. I'd be in the wrong spot.
What happened to me?
I'm
not sure if we're on the same site because I don't see that word.
No. And Greater New Orleans. It's often used by parents to get their children to behave. Acadiana.
Acadiana.
Acadiana? Acadiana. Yes. Oh, that makes sense.
ACADI. So you got one consonant in between the two vowels, so that makes the A long. Acadiana.
Acadiana. Yeah. Yeah. Way to go, English guy.
Thanks.
He can't speak Spanish, folks, but he can speak English.
Technical director.
Catholics who actually have their own version.
I can talk about problems with my stereo. Or talk about something about some girls in the kitchen.
It's a pity. Catholics do actually have their own version of the Rougarou. They actually say that the Rougarou is actually a monster that will stalk and murder you if you do not obey the rules of Lent. And some people say that the curse, or maybe a blessing if you're kind of evil, only lasts for 101 days. Then the curse will actually transfer to the last person bitten. This is also very different than the werewolf. It's not a permanent thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that curse for a moment, Dave, because that kind of threw me through a little loop there when we watched the show on Scare Network. When they talked about you can't not only being bitten can you be turned into a Rougarou. You can literally be turned into a Rougarou by locking eyes with it and it transferring itself to you.
Yeah.
Much like the Wendigo.
Much like the Wendigo, it actually possesses you. Yeah, this was very interesting.
Yeah, I was like, really? So I mean, it's very much werewolf-esque, except it doesn't rely on the moon cycle. It can change into its form whenever it wants. Uh,
Yeah.
it can be
And it does,
caused, it can be bitten, or he can be possessed.
yeah.
Dance.
But with possession, it's he was stating that it would last for only 1 year.
Yes.
I thought that was interesting. A little bit different than being bitten, I guess. The possession lasts longer if it lasts longer than the bite does. It's interesting.
Yeah, so the bite lasts for 101 days. The gaze in looking upon it lasts for a year.
Lasts for a year.
And also, if you tell someone
Yeah,
that
so if you see a
look,
Rougarou,
yeah, if you look at it,
Stop.
if you lock, I'm not going to stop. If you look and lock eyes with the Rougarou and you tell someone about it, you will commit suicide in a year.
yeah, so if it doesn't possess you, but you tell people about your sighting or your experience that you had the Rougarou, you will eventually within a year commit suicide.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Excuse me. So the shapeshifter can turn into a werewolf whenever it wants, but it's actually considered slightly more muscular and powerful than a normal werewolf because it actually has to cross the dense swamp. So it's basically like cross training for it. This dude does CrossFit in the swamps and will beat a werewolf's ass, is what they're saying, Dave. It does look a lot like a werewolf, but has some differences. Cajun lore claims that the Rougarou possesses the body of a man, but the head of a wolf or dog with glowing red eyes. So not the whole body transforms, it's just the head that transforms. If anyone managed to look into its red glowing eyes or gets bitten by one, they would
Stop
become
it.
a Rougarou themselves in a manner very akin to a typical lycanthrope. Except you don't turn into a typical lycanthrope by just looking at one and locking eyes with it. But there have been sightings of cow. Well, I don't want to say sightings, but there have been reports of cow mutilations that have been left with no blood in the actual body. So very
Very chupacabra.
chupacabra-ish. Yeah. Uh, some cryptozoologists, yeah, they do have a term for it, have actually attempted to approach the Rougarou, but all attempts have actually failed. That'd be a bad mamma jamma to run into.
Yeah. So the site that I have, one of many that I looked at, the cryptid is usually described as a towering hairy monster, which is a human cursed to take beastly form. And
Oh
this goes
shit!
back to the cat. For centuries, if you didn't follow Catholic traditions, such as observing Lent, or if you were hunted on holy days, the Rougarou would get you. Even the act of self-defense could be life-altering, for it recalls hearing of one legendary Rougarou run-in when a young boy out for a stroll, armed with only his oyster knife, encountered the creature. As the Rougarou lunges forward, he defends himself and cuts its arm, thus releasing the curse from that person and putting it into himself.
Wow.
So this also states that if you cut the Rougarou, you'll become a Rougarou.
Wow. I don't know if you. I'm just gonna throw these up here.
Mm. Stories of the Rougarou in Louisiana derive largely from 16th century French legends of the beast called Lougarou, essentially werewolf. The name changed to Rougarou in Cajun, Louisiana, because I and R are linguistically liquid consonants, and they change places a lot. This is what I found.
Oh.
Justin.
Not about Justin. Once the Rougarou settled into southern Louisiana swampy shadows, it took on some aspects of local Native American cryptids, such as the legendary Choctaw shape-shifting owl witch, which we've actually discussed.
Yeah, we have.
Instead of wolfish features, most Cajuns will describe the Rougarou as resembling a dog or an owl. No one agrees what it looks like because they don't really have wolves in that part of the country. And this is something that they said. They also, in the Scare Network TV little short that we watched, they also describe it as having hog-like features or pig-like features.
Yes. The hell? Why didn't my pictures go in here? That's interesting. All right.
Let's see. Sugarcane fields. Human body. Possessed. Okay.
For some reason, it's not.
Often the storytelling has been used to inspire fear and obedience. One such example of stories have been told by elders to persuade Cajun children to behave. According to another variation, the wolf-like beast will hunt down and kill Catholics. Yeah, okay. We talked about that. Common blood-sucking legend says that the Rougarou is under the spell for 101 days. After that time, the curse is transferred from person to person when the Rougarou draws another human's blood.
Interesting.
During that day, the creature returns to human form. Although acting sickly, the human refrains from telling others of the situation for fear of being killed or killing itself. Other stories range from the Rougarou as a rabbit to the Rougarou being derived from witchcraft. In the later claim, only a witch can make a Rougarou, either by turning into a wolf herself or by cursing others.
Wow.
Dark.
It's dark. Yeah. So let's see. Cow mutilations reported with no blood left in the body. Some daring cryptozoologists have attempted to approach the Rougarou. I think you read that one. So I'm on the same side as you are.
I don't know why, but oh, that's why.
So it talks about, what was it? So yeah, French werewolf. So curse for a year till no one. So one way to defend yourself against the Rougarou is with Wolfsbane. Wolfsbane is said to drive them away. And the other thing, which is really interesting, is drawing a pentagram and standing in the pentagram will keep the Rougarou off of you.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder why that is.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that. But one of the funniest things about
is your name?
about this cryptid, my name is Dave. That's John. Is that it's kind of OCD.
Yes.
Satanic.
Or just, would you classify that as OCD, Dave?
If it can't do anything but count, I think it's OCD and it's not very smart. But but it says that if you put 13 objects in front of your door,
Andrew.
This is how you keep the Rougarou out of your house, by the way.
this keeps the Rougarou out of your house. If you put 13 objects outside your door, the Rougarou has to stop and count the objects. The only problem is the Rougarou can only count to 12.
And then it has to start over.
So it'll sit there and count endlessly and not go into your house. And I think that's
an OCD. Opening up a door to go grab your paper early in the morning, and you open the door, you just see this thing standing there counting, and it's like,
and you see this going 1, 2, 3, 11, 12. Shit. 1.
Yep, just close the door.
I'll be like, you take as long as you want. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go out the back door.
You just go 1, 2, 3.
I get round to roll. I need a ruby rack.
Oh, poor Scoob.
Oh, Scoob, zoinks.
We just went off again. Oh,
whoa.
That's something getting close to it.
Yeah.
And then my ghost tube just said chair. And you see me, I'm leaned away. You know,
I can see you and I can see it. So yeah. That's awesome.
I'm just gonna show you how close my hand. So the antenna's like right here. Okay.
Yeah.
You see, here's my hand so close, right here. Look how close I have to get to make the green go off.
Yeah.
That's the green.
Yeah. And it looked like that was the green that was on.
Yeah, it was the green that was on. So it was at least this close.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. That's pretty cool, bro. I like it.
That's why I moved. I was like, I'm gonna move it to where you all could see it too. No, can I share this website with you? Because towards the bottom, I can't get these pictures to load in for me, and there's an awesome story that goes with the pictures. And how do I share?
Listen.
Listen, Linda, listen.
Linda, honey, listen.
It's back. Oh, that's solid. Oh, it got closer, David. Turned yellow. It's touching it. Touching it.
Oh,
yeah. I love it. I love it. Thank you for coming and joining the show. Now, during the break, I did ask Carl Riddle to join us. Hopefully that's Carl. Oh my God, I just killed the battery. Oh my God,
it drained the battery. Wow.
It's a brand new battery.
We got to mark the time on this.
2:40 is what it's sitting at right now.
Yeah. A little bit before that. Yeah, I think I'm going to record a clip of that and put it on the show. Put it on I'll give it to you to put it on the YouTube page.
Oh, I love that.
Sorry.
I said sorry for draining your battery, bro.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you for apologizing. I appreciate it. All right, Dave, this is the only way I know how to freaking send this stuff to you right now.
You can send it to me in the private chat, or you can.
Oh, can I?
Yeah. Just click on the
Technical
URL. Technical director.
All right. Where is the private chat, Dave? Where's it at? Oh, there it is.
It's the one that says private chat.
Yeah.
Watching you.
All right. So I'm sending this to you because it has a link in it towards the bottom.
Yeah, I actually have that site.
Okay. If you go where it says see also
Water.
and click on the D-Rider.
The D-Rider Roadkill?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I find that interesting.
You want me to grab the pictures?
Yeah, I thought the pictures were kind of interesting.
All
right. So while he's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and just read the story. So, a story in 1996, a woman named Barbara Mullins was driving down a hot, dusty asphalt Louisiana highway called Highway 12. Eventually, she thought she saw some strange creature dead on the side of the road. It was very curious, and she was luckily equipped with a camera, so she decided to pull over. What she found has changed the face of cryptozoology forever. She described the carcass as being the size of an adult St. Bernard and covered in thick brown hair, which was unusual for the climate. But its most unusual and most canine-like feature of all were its ape-like feet extending from its bulky body. It boasted small, pointy ears, too. She thought at first the carcass was merely a deceased dog until she noticed the simian-like appearance. On September 5th of the same year, the DeQuincy News published the report of the bizarre and unidentifiable fauna. They noted that it could be the blood-sucking chupacabra or even the ferocious devil monkey, which is more plausible. Louisiana Department of Wild, and this was in Louisiana, Department of Wildlife and Fisheries examined the photos and decided that it was only the toy breed of a dog known as the Pomeranian. That don't look like Pomeranian. The problem
is a Saint Bernard. That's not a Pomeranian.
With the size of an adult Saint Bernard, which averages 264 pounds and 27.5 inches tall. Meanwhile, Pomeranians are only 7.7 pounds and are 11 inches tall. The conclusion doesn't explain the odd ape feet either. In 2000, a man named Roy Young started investigating the images. He did intense research and concluded that the animal seen in these photos was Rougarou, the Cajun werewolf. The legends of Rougarou go back centuries and are associated with the skunk ape and the Honey Island swamp monster, other cryptids of the southern region. He claimed that he even obtained some skeletal remains of the beast from an anonymous man in the Lake Charles area, but the bone fragments were not authentic as they had dermal ridge, which is common in canine. The exciting remains were said to have been a hoax or to have been simply random found by the man. The last extensive research ever done of this carcass was made 14 years ago. Nothing else has aroused from the dry lands of Louisiana, but people still believe this report is genuine and that the source of the rotting corpse in the images is still out there, lurking, waiting to be discovered. If this creature is found, it would be the biggest zoological find of the 21st century and would be the first species of primate native to the United States. But for now, we just have to wait or dream, or why not even attempt to find it. But I'm sorry, that's an interesting picture.
Mm-hmm.
I just found that interesting. I was like, because look at the face.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, that does still seem smaller than what they are depicting the Rougarou to be.
Yes.
But I do like it. Yeah, these are all the other photos that she took of it.
Yeah.
And then did you grab the artist rendition of what it would look like if it was alive?
Yes.
I liked that too. I mean, it's not the greatest artist rendition, but that's what they figured it would look like if it was alive.
Yeah. That ain't no Pomeranian, bro.
That's not no Pomeranian. That is a Pomeranian? What?
Ain't no Pomeranian. Pomeranians are like that big.
Yeah. So actually in 2014, the History Channel released a horror series called Cryptid, the Swamp Beast, in which an animal control unit investigates a string of mutilations and missing pets in Louisiana. While the locals believe it's actually the work of the legendary Rougarou. That's crazy that they actually created a animal control unit to go find these things. Dude, there's tons of folklore on this thing too.
All right.
I don't know. What do you think of that picture? I can't
That's
believe
interesting.
Battery.
Is it a Rougarou? I don't know. It's definitely strange. So it's a weird ass thing. Furry as hell.
Blood sucking legend.
Yeah. I don't know what to make of that. It's interesting. Well, let's score the Rougarou. Let's see what we get.
Is it scoring time already?
Well, it's 2:47, right? We're almost 3 hours.
Yeah, I guess it is that time.
Yeah. I mean, if we got more to talk about, do we have anything else to say about this thing?
No, I'm kind of reading. We've talked about the roots in France and it coming over with that.
Maybe.
Yeah, the myth of witchcraft being involved. I talked about that. Something like the Wendigo. Here's an interesting. I just want to put this out here. So, a story in the Nicholsworth, which is a local college paper, how Rougarou remains a strong figure in Cajun folklore. Recounts a story from a woman about an experience in her youth. She says a local boy was being followed by a dog when he decided to cut it with his pocket knife. The boy saw the dog turn into a man. What's that?
Yeah.
Oh,
I told you that story.
Oh, okay. I was trying to get those pictures when he said this, huh?
I guess
the physician.
No, the boy cut it with his oyster knife, and then
ran home to his family. Next day, a prominent physician appeared in town with his right arm cut and in a sling. And a year later, the boy killed himself.
Yeah, because he told someone about it.
Yeah. And left a letter, but even to this day, the sheriff won't let anybody see it.
Mm-hmm.
I must have been trying to grab that picture when you read that. Sorry, bro. Didn't mean to do that.
It's all right.
Oh, then I think, all right. Yeah, I'm done talking about the river.
Poisoned.
I'm just looking at this. They're talking about the Rougarou getting a makeover or something, and
Cursed.
where they're talking about it using the Rougarou to protect the environment.
They're kind of comparing it with the Moss Man or what?
Yeah, something like that, to where it's like, because with the way hurricanes and the rising of the tides and things like that have happened over the centuries, Louisiana has lost like over 2,000 square miles of land
Yeah, due to
because of the
erosion and
rise
stuff.
of waters and the Mississippi River and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So in order to protect the wetlands, people are using the Rougarou as like a Smokey the Bear type of thing. They're using the legend of the Rougarou in order to protect that area.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
I thought that was an interesting thing. I was just like, that's kind of fun.
I can't believe that thing killed my battery. I just put that.
Yeah,
thing
that's crazy. It was like dead.
like I'm touching it.
Wait, I'm touching it.
All right, let's score the Rougarou.
Touch it till it dies.
So size of the Rougarou.
Okay, so size. Now, aside from the Saint Bernard account from the lady,
Yeah,
I have one report I found said that it was a towering hairy monster.
yes.
So
I would probably put that about 8 foot.
yeah, I'm thinking like, dude,
Yeah, just
like big.
Yeah.
Now, would that beat our 6.5s that we have so far? Our Moss Man was a 6.5.
Joshua.
That's our
I would
biggest.
say yes. I would say yes. This is bigger than the Moss Man and bigger
than our Scare Network.
Our one on Scare Network.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to weigh more, but I think it's going to be taller.
Yes. I don't think it's necessarily mass. The mass is there like the Moss Man and the one on Scare Network, but the height, the size of it, I think I give it that edge, that extra 0.5. Well, let me think. Because we put Baba Yaga at 7.
Yes.
And Baba Yaga could lay across the whole house and touch it.
Yeah.
Even though she wasn't mass, like
her wasn't, but her cabin wasn't that big. So the Stikini is also a 7. And the Adlet. And the Adlet is the closest thing to a werewolf than we've done.
Yes.
The Ozark Howler, with my great impression, the Ozark Howler is an 8.
I don't think it's as big as the Ozark Howler. It doesn't have.
I think I'm down for a 7 on this.
Height-wise, yes, but not mass-wise.
Yeah.
Well, actually, not even height-wise. That thing was biting trees 10 feet up in the air.
Yeah.
I think I'm down with the 7. I think that's where I'm saying. I think at the half point. Did you cut yourself?
No, just little bit of a burn. I was working on the fire before the last break.
Hello.
Well, hello to you.
Speed.
It says it's more powerful than the werewolf and trudging through all the swamplands. I have a feeling this thing is actually pretty fast.
Yeah, I think it's fast, bro.
I think it's faster than the Moss Man and Huggin Molly. Huggin Molly.
I'm gonna hog you. I mean, hug you. Wee, wee.
Which is funny. They do say the Rougarou does have a big face.
Well, that doesn't have a pig face, you know.
But I do think it's faster than Huggin Molly, and I think it's faster than the Moss Man.
Okay, so do you think it's Beast of Bladenboro fast?
Beast of Bladenboro fast was 9 or 8?
Also, the Strigoi, Skinwalker, and Mothman were all 8s, and Fayanaga.
I think it's as fast as them, though.
You don't think it's as fast as them?
I don't think it's as fast as them.
Okay, so then that means 7.5.
I think we'd have to put it there, yeah.
Yeah, because Huggin Molly and Mossman are both 7s.
Yeah. But I don't think it's an 8.
Okay.
And not when I compare it to those.
Yeah.
Disrespectful.
Right?
Maybe it is an 8, Dave.
Maybe it is an 8.
Roy.
And Roy. Okay.
Or maybe it's
so
Roy.
evidence.
Okay, so evidence.
What?
Evidence.
Oh, I thought you said something else.
No.
So I like the picture.
Yeah.
I do like that. Is there any other evidence? There's definitely stories.
Yeah.
Kinda. Because if you saw it, you're not allowed to talk about it. I think this is a. I'd probably have to put the evidence with this one up there with Mossman. Maybe a point lower, honestly.
Is that?
Oh, what did you find?
Oh, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I got something else to bring to the table. They're saying this is a Rougarou caught by aerial photograph.
Okay, all right. Seeing it.
And I have a video to back it up, but it has an FBI thing on it, so I'm not going to play it.
That's interesting. I wish the blow up wasn't so grainy.
Yeah.
Or blurry.
Bright lights flicker. Okay, there's a howl in the distance. Sounds like a wolf, but something's a little off. Standing on 2 legs on top of a fallen moss-covered tree is a large snarling beast. It throws its head back, letting out a blood-curdling howl to the moon. That's no werewolf, though. That's what we in Louisiana call the Rougarou.
It's definitely human shape.
On the back roads of Louisiana, you'll see lots of beautiful scenery, remnants of history freckled on the map. Whether it's old or potentially haunted buildings, abandoned theme parks, or even museums with some very strange collections. Back in the thick, fog-covered swamplands is where you'll find the true beauty of Louisiana and perhaps even a monster or two, including the legendary beast called the Rougarou.
Well,
I am going to. I think I have a couple more, but I'm going to scan and see if any of this looks viable. Unique tales of the Rougarou. I found some more pictures of that dead animal on the. on the road. I don't think we need any more of that. That's dumb. But that aerial photograph like I said, it comes with a video where it shows like the whole thing. And then I got a bunch of pictures of the roller coaster called the Rougarou.
Yeah, they got a Rougarou roller coaster.
Yeah. Okay, so I gotta give that one a point. And there's a video with it. So that'll bonus the evidence up a little bit.
Okay. I'm picking up there. Okay. So I would.
I'm kind of close. I'm close to the Moss Man here.
I would say I was thinking of 4, but with the video attachment to it that you're saying, I'm gonna give it that extra boost and put it at a 5.
Yeah. I'm down for that. I'm good with that one. Aggression.
Seems aggressive, Dave.
I think it seems aggressive, and considering you can transmit by bite, stare, or cut.
Yeah.
And it definitely attacks Catholics if you don't follow your rules.
I think this is more aggressive than the Moss Man.
I think so too. I think
this is more aggressive than the Huggin Molly.
Huggin Molly was the most aggressive we've done tonight at an 8.
Yeah.
So do you think 9?
Or 8 for a different reason?
8 for a different reason? I'm kind of leaning toward 8 for a different reason.
I think I'm right there with you.
Yeah, because other 8s we gave, Beast of Bladenboro was an 8. And gosh, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only one other 8 besides Huggin Molly, and that's the Beast of Bladenboro.
I think I'm at 8 for a different reason on the Rougarou.
Yeah. Okay, what do you think about the lore here?
I like the lore. I like the fact that it came over with the French and things like that. I like how the Lowedown and the Rougarou are byproducts of each other. I like the werewolf-esque feature to it, but being a little bit different. I like the lore of this. I like the lore of this much better than the Huggin Molly. I think I like the lore of this better than the Moss Man.
Okay. How about the one on Scare Network?
I really did like the lore on Scare Network. I don't think it's as good as the one on Scare Network.
Yeah. Okay, so that would put it at
7. Yeah. Now sightings.
We got some.
Got some sightings.
Yep.
Live and dead.
Tiffany.
Tiffany's seen it too.
Tiffany saw it.
I guess. So we got this, whatever this is.
Yeah.
And then we got the aerial.
Yeah.
Blood.
Plus multiple stories.
Multiple accounts.
Possibly even a kid that committed suicide after talking about it.
Yeah.
That's
interesting. So
is it better than the Moss Man, the sightings? I would have to say yes, considering the evidence was better.
Yeah. Now we gave the sightings a 6 for the Moss Man.
Yeah.
And 10 for the one on.
Yeah. There's no.
So it's nowhere near that. But I might go 7.
I was thinking 7 here. I think it's a step above. Step above
the
audio. Yeah, well, you just talked about the howling.
Yeah, the howling and it does do that. So I think there's some audio here. It's not great. Okay, so Huggin Molly is our bar with a 6.
Yeah, 6. Because
do we think it's higher or lower than that?
Again, I think I'm at the same, but for a different reason.
Yeah.
So I think I'm at
Joshua.
a 6 here.
Yeah.
So physical object. So it's definitely getting physical.
Yeah.
The transferring of possession, that's a physical attachment. You got the physical contact, whether it's biting you, eating you, or scratching you. I didn't see a lot of object use here.
No, the wolf's bane.
The wolf's bane.
Or the 13 items to keep it out of the house.
Oh, the
I'd put that in
pentagram.
there. The pentagram.
Oh,
I
yeah.
gotta give points to that.
Is it better? Is it equal to or better than the Mossman? Because the Mossman was pure physical, right? Oh no, it was the
No, it was the objects. It was the plants and the vegetation and that kind of shit. So it was almost pure objects because we think of the Mossman as a supernatural being.
Yeah. This is physical and object.
Yeah.
Does it beat?
Does it beat? So
Angel.
we got to think of our 8s, which are the Wendigo, Skinwalker, Strigoi, Mothman, and Dracovic.
I'm gonna say it's a 7.
I'm gonna go 7. Yeah, I think
I'm gonna say the combination of the two is equal to what the Mossman does object wise.
Yes.
Because the Mossman doesn't do anything physical to you.
Yes.
Well, it does too if you're Spaniard.
Yes. And likewise, the Rougarou does Catholics.
With the Catholics.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing, huh?
Kind of the same thing.
Yeah, so equal score, 7.
Yeah. Emotional is good here. I mean,
blessed.
Suicidal.
Creating suicides.
Creating suicides.
I think you have to put the possession aspect into emotional.
Yeah. You got to put the possession in there too.
I think just even the lycanthropy aspect into emotional. Imagine the toll it takes on you with the change without the possession being bitten and turned into a lycanthrope. The fear is definitely there. The highest emotion we have tonight is Huggin Molly.
Yeah.
At an 8.
Portal.
Here's the thing. We gave that bonus because of the sadness.
Yeah.
The fear of the Rougarou. Is that equal to the fear and the sadness of the Huggin Molly? On top of
we got the fear and the suicide and the possession. And I think
poisoned.
And I think the Rougarou has a wider range of fear, whereas the Huggin Molly's fear is centered around that town.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't like about the same thing. I think I'm in an 8, but for different reasons.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of with you right there too. I like this one.
What happened to me?
The danger level.
I think this is dangerous. I think there's
the most dangerous
ways that it can affect you. This is almost as dangerous as the Wendigo for me.
Almost.
Not quite. But almost. I'm trying to think, do I want to go on 9 with this? And I'm not. I'm gonna go 8. And the reason why is this is not permanent.
Oh, the permanent factor. Yes.
Because if you're bitten, it's 100.
What year is
days. If you catch its gaze, it's a year. Wendigo's permanent. You're Wendigo. It's done.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
all right, 8. I like an 8.
So yeah, I'm gonna go 8. I think an argument could be made for 8.5, but I think it deserves an 8. All right. Rougarou gets a 71.
Closed.
71.
That's higher than I expected.
That is higher than I was expecting.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I was expecting 60s, but yeah, that's good. 71. That puts it even with the Dracovic.
I like that Dracovic. That means it puts it what, 4th? Or tied for 3rd?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tied for 5th.
Tied for 5th.
Yep.
Who's it tied with?
The Dracovic.
It's tied for the Dracovic.
It's tied for 5th. And then Mothman, Strigoi, Skinwalker, and Wendigo are above it.
Oh, yeah, Strigoi. That's good. That's a good
Neil.
score.
Yeah.
Well, folks, that is Cryptids Part 5. We scored the Mothman, Huggin Molly, and the Rougarou. All very interesting cryptids. Of course, you heard it. The Rougarou is the highest score of the night, followed by Mothman at a 58 and Huggin Molly at a 54. Rougarou is gonna definitely top 5 cryptids so far. It's gonna be interesting to see if that stands as we go through. Anything that surprised you with the cryptids tonight?
I think both the Huggin Molly and the Rougarou surprised me with their scores.
Yeah.
More so than the Mossman.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing with the Rougarou was really neat. It's got some Wendigo in it, and I like it.
Yeah. The fact that it doesn't have affinity to silver,
yeah,
and the fact that it can change form, change shape at will. It's not relied on the moon cycle. I think those are the big things that jumped out at me with it.
And to think we weren't going to score it because we were like, what's with the 13 things? And we weren't going to do this cryptid. We were just like, nah, let's not do this cryptid.
Yes.
But it just kind of came up, and we went, yeah, let's go ahead and run it. Let's run this cryptid and see what we get. And it's good. The Rougarou is good.
Next week we're going to be talking about the most haunted locations in Florida.
Oh man,
so that's gonna be a good one. So stick with us for that next week. Again, was it 6 Pacific and 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 7 Mountain Time.
Yep.
On Sunday. That's gonna be a good episode. I can't wait to talk about those. Those are gonna be fun. Those are gonna be really fun. But we're gonna get out of here for tonight. I'm gonna tell Dave go ahead and key up that
queuing up the outro.
The outro, and we will see everybody next week. Thank you again for everybody that participated and who are going to listen on your favorite places.
Yep. You guys take care.
Spirits.